Robert his posters.
And welcome back to the Boardroom International Surfboard Show, Del Mar Fairgrounds, San Diego, day 1 of 2.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll get underway at 12 o'clock. We're going to go till about 6 o'clock this evening, and it's all about the icons of foam. And we're honoring Mark Richards, presented by US Blanks. A lot of action going on, and just joining us right now. Before we get to him, I've got 2 things to say. Bruce Bowl, Surfers Village, staying up all night. Bruce, thank you very much. We questioned the young shaper, the 15-year-old, Canary Islands. Did he know what the Canary Islands were named after? Birds, dogs, seals. It's dogs, the canines. Bruce sent me that information. And the next thing is, who co-starred in Endless Summer, Bruce Brown's movie? Do you know, Todd?
I'm guessing it's our next guest, Robert August.
Roberto Augusto?
Yes.
First of all, what's your
What's your name?
My name's Todd Klein. Welcome to our set down here in Del Mar, Robert August. I know you're a legend. Pleasure to meet you.
Where's your son? He's supposed to be sitting here.
He's working.
He's working.
Someone's
well, he runs
gotta
the
do it.
business. Okay, rumor has it you've been down in Tamarindo now for 2 straight years.
Well, about a year and a half, yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
What are you running from? What's with Huntington Beach?
Well, I've had a house there for years and years, and I adopted a little Costa Rican girl.
Yes.
She grew up with me in Huntington, but we decided to see if we could actually live there. And there's a great private school, and things are good.
Wonderful.
Surf's good, golf's good, fishing's good.
Are you
Life's
still
good.
are you still a goofy footer?
I'm still goofy.
Yeah, you're still goofy.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, Sun's running the operation, still based out of Huntington Beach, but worldwide. I mean, your shapes and things are good.
Well, I associate with a lot of different companies. You know, we do the Surf Tech stuff that sells my boards that we build in Thailand is pretty worldwide. But, you know, the real quality stuff that comes from Huntington Beach is people buy it from all over the place. And my niece Lisa and Sam, my son, pretty much run that business.
Hypothetically, if I was going to Tamarindo, though, I know you've got a shaping bay down there, and you actually have a surf shop.
Yeah, well, it's not my shop. It's called Witches Rock Surf Camp. It's a really cool place to go, very surf-oriented, just surf trips, you know, no TVs in the rooms. It's like you came here to go surfing. And they close at 10 o'clock at night. They go to sleep, because we're leaving at 5:30 to surf. So it's really cool. So once or twice a week, I give a shaping exhibition where everybody can come and watch, and I give a lecture about foam and blanks and rocker and everything, and I get a little participation. I let people come and do some sanding, and it's a lot of fun.
With that said, that's a prelude for me on the next question. How many guys coming up in Costa Rica are starting to shape now that legends like yourself are living down there and giving insight on how to shape?
Well, there's not a lot of people that are starting to shape, and the main reason is blanks are so expensive these days, and you got to shape 50 or 100 to actually get the skills with the tools and know how to do it. So it's really expensive, you know. All the good foam, the good products come from Southern California. So there's shipping and import duty, and it's pretty hard for a kid to get the opportunity to mess around with that foam. So,
in short, not many.
Not many.
Well, Robert, let's go back to your high school days. Weren't you picked by Bruce Brown to star with Mike Henson in Endless Summer? Were you a junior or senior in high school?
Actually, I was a senior, just getting ready to graduate.
HB High, Oiler.
Yep, Huntington Beach High. I was a student body president. I was going to be a dentist. I was all focused on college. And I'd been in Bruce's movies before the Endless Summer, you know, when they were just lecture films around the high school auditoriums and civic auditoriums. They were a lot of fun. Everybody went. It was a party, you know, sneak in a half pint and take the chicks. It was fun. But, you know, Bruce had this idea to be a little more aggressive. And Bruce's movies were always better than the other ones. He studied film a little more. And told me about this concept, and I went, no, I really can't, you know, I'm going to university, I'm ready to go to school. And he said, well, you know, give it some thought, we'd really like you to be a part of it. So I said, well, I'll talk to my mom and dad and some teachers at school that I admire and respect. And I talked to my mom and dad. And, my dad was a surfer, traveler, camper. I went to Hawaii when I was 8 with my mom and dad. And they said, "You're out of your mind, go." And I got the same response from my teachers. They went, "Well, you can always go to school, but nobody ever gets to do this." And so I called
That's
Bruce
awesome.
and went, "I'm in, man."
Now, the family had to help with a little bit of money, right? You kind of had to be supported by your family. We're talking about limited budget.
Yeah, at the time, Bruce, he borrowed some money on his house or something to survive this whole trip. We were gone for 6 months, and there was very limited air travel in those days. And so he said, "If you can gather up the $1,800 for the plane ticket, I'll pay you back, as soon as we've made some money." So I sold my car, which I wish I hadn't have. It was a 58 Chevy Impala. It was really cool. I wish I had that car today. But anyway, I did it, and as soon as the movie was successful, he paid me back right away. And but he paid for the whole trip, the food, whatever we were doing, and it was great. And everybody was right. It was a life-changing experience for me, being a kid, 18 years old, and kind of helped my life, but kind of ruined it. I never became a dentist. I became a surfer and a surfboard maker and all that. But
Pretty good life.
it's been
Question:
good.
Endless Summer. If you didn't see it, you're probably living under a rock. What was the highlight of those 6 months that you pointed out for you that maybe was documented or was not documented in the film?
Well, different levels of what was the highlight, was all the people we met and countries we went to that nobody had ever gone to any of these countries. Back then, there was very limited air travel around the world. And to get to Cape Town, South Africa, we had to go to Senegal, Ghana, Nigeria, the Belgian Congo, to get to Cape Town.
Sounds like Southwest Airlines.
So that was the way we had to go to get there.
Yeah.
And that ended up being a great part of the trip.
Yeah.
We got great surf in Senegal and Ghana. We surfed with the little kids. And Nigeria, we got good surf. So it was great.
Well, I got to ask you, when I believe we had Brett Simpson on there talking about what's in his garage, 40 surfboards. These guys with so many boards. Is it true that you and Mike each had one board apiece to travel the world?
Sure.
Those were indestructible, though,
No
back
board
then.
bags. The boards were heavy as hell back then. They were flat. They had no rocker, giant fin. They weighed 40 pounds. And, by the time we got back, there was some abuse, but, we rode them. They just throw them in the baggage compartment and we'd go.
No leash, no wetsuit.
Well, we thought it was, our winter, their summertime, so we thought it's going to be nice. It was cold as hell in Cape Town. Water was freezing.
Yeah.
And in Melbourne, Australia, that's way south.
Yep.
It was cold. But, when you're 18, you don't care.
Cape St.
We're
Francis. I
Oh,
got to ask
beautiful.
about Cape St. Francis.
Here we go.
Yeah. Well, that was obviously the major discovery. If you're a surfer, that's about as good as it gets.
It's unbelievable. Now it's no longer there, correct?
Well, sure, it's still there. It's a resort. It's called the Endless Summer
I
Hotel.
thought they had built up and changed the structure so
No,
it
all
doesn't
that happened
quite.
was they covered the whole sand area
Dunes.
with the dunes with
Homes.
Townhomes. What?
townhomes and
Golf course.
vegetation.
Yeah,
okay.
So when the wind blows offshore, it didn't put that beautiful sandbar out there. It's a rocky bottom like
Okay.
Rincon or Malibu. Still a great wave. When they did the Endless Summer 2, there's pictures of Wingnut and Pat O'Connell surfing there. Still a great wave, but it's not that perfect sandbar thing like it was when we were there. But people still go there and they'll communicate with me and go, God, we surfed Cape St. Francis. It was so great.
Well, Dave and I are loving catching up with some of the great personalities of our sport. Let's reel it back in and give you the opportunity to tell the viewers about the boards that you're shaping now so that the guy that's out there watching you and, wants to get that high-performance Robert August surfboard, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, being a part of the surfboard industry for most of my life, it's always been exciting. Things change, surfers change, and you don't stand there, or we don't, not in my factory, and make the same thing over and over and over, which is kind of boring, you know. We make a variety of stuff from, you know, 5 foot to 12 foot, whatever somebody wants, and a giant variety of color combinations and artwork and everything. So it's challenging to keep up and try to stay ahead.
Is this one of your boards here?
This is a board that we made that's a real retro board.
It's a replica of a...
From a board that I made in probably 1975.
Can we check it out?
Sure.
Let's go check it out. Cool air spray.
This is a board that's very similar to the mid-70s, boards that we referred to this era as the bad board era. There was almost no tail rocker. The major width and thickness was in the nose. And I watched the old movies of Jerry Lopez and those guys riding pipeline on this stuff, and it amazes me how well they rode it. But this is what the surf population wanted in those days, so we made them, but we tried to make it a little better. We did some beautiful artwork on them, all handmade, hand air sprayed and stuff. This is pretty much the fin setup that we used back in those days, and there's people that can find these boards from this era, and I tell them, wax it up, take it out, and try to ride it. See how hard it was to ride these things. So,
and what does something like this retail for?
Oh, I don't know. It's still, you know, it's the cost of the air spray is probably $100. So the blank and the glass job would probably be $800 or $900, which is still, I think, a good deal. But we don't make a lot of these. But somebody wants one. Usually they'll just put it on the wall in the office or the den because it's
a classic.
So pretty and it's got memories and stuff.
Well, awesome.
Well, Robert, I got to ask you a question. We've had Brett Simpson on here. He's from Huntington Beach. You've probably met Brett. His father is an ex-NFL football player. A lot of people might not know your son, a budding career in baseball.
Yeah.
And if he would have gone the baseball route, he probably wouldn't be running your operation. But tell us about Sam and what he's doing.
Well, he grew up surfing naturally with me, and as we know it, surfing's a good sport. You know, it gets you ready for anything you want to do. I played basketball and ran track. I was a pole vaulter. I did all the sports because I'm physically ready to go. And Sam did too, but right along when he was a freshman or sophomore in high school, we went and saw a World Series game in San Diego, and we got cool attention there. I knew some people. And on the way home, he said, "Dad, I'm going to play professional baseball." And I went, "Great. You know, as long as we're aiming big here, I'm going to be an astronaut when I grow up." You know, but when we got home, he focused. You know, he played all the sports. He was very athletic, and he wouldn't. No other sports. He wouldn't even surf with me anymore. He concentrated on baseball, and I went, "Whatever, I don't care." Next thing I know, I'm at the airport in Los Angeles, and he's going to spring training with the Houston Astros, and he's a major pitcher. You know, it was exciting as hell being a father. So I loved it. I traveled all over the country watching him, and went spring training with Nolan Ryan, and those were the days, you know. So it was cool.
That's the good inside story about the August family.
It was great.
And your parents, I remember them well, although I was a tiny little person, but Seal Beach, south side of the pier, 13th Street?
That's where I grew up. You know, we lived right on the beach, so I surfed every day of my life. I'd wake up, take a leak, and paddle out every day, no matter what
I'm
it
glad
was.
you did that before you went in the lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't pee in the ocean, do you?
Oh, no, never.
Well, Robert,
Could have killed some of those stingrays.
just like all the other personalities, we'd love to go on and on with you all day long.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Good
catching
shit.
up with you.
Yeah.
And we're going to